Boxers like Mike Tyson have served as a model should aspire to a career defined by the power of their fists and not by their ability to talk when making comments they can't back up in the ring. Brian Nielsen's career was almost flawless until he stepped into the ring against an Iron Mike who, at the age of 40, still had a lot to offer in the world of boxing. In today's video, we bring you the downfall of one of the biggest figures in Danish boxing, facing off against the American legend that very few could overcome. Brian Nielsen won the bronze medal at the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona before starting his professional career in September of the same year at the age of 27. As he progressed in his professional career, Brian managed to defeat greats like Ross Purity, James Smith, Tony Tubbs, Tim Witherspoon, and even the legendary Larry Holmes, where it's important to note that Holmes was already 47 years old at the time of the fight. Nielsen managed to equal Rocky Marciano's record, reaching 49 victories without a defeat. But he was not satisfied and intended to surpass the record of this great champion. However, these plans were thwarted when Dickie Ryan defeated him in June 1999 during the 10th round. Brian was not content with tasting defeat, so he prepared even more to beat him in a rematch. It seemed like he was once again heading to the top until he entered the ring with the Great Iron Mike in October 2001. Before the fight, Tyson reached the peak weight of his career at 239 pounds. He knew he had to build an even bigger strength if he wanted a chance against the now overweight opponent. Nielsen was welcomed that night in the arena as a champion, but his fans were overshadowed when Tyson entered the scene. Mike hadn't been in the ring for a year, but he was determined to prove that his strength had not rusted at all. Nielsen entered the ring with confidence, a year younger than Tyson, and with a respectable record of 62 victories, 43 of them by knockout, having been defeated only once by Dickie Ryan. He felt the embrace of the Danish crowd, but it wasn't the first time that Iron Mike had to fight on enemy territory. At the time, Tyson's record stood at 48 victories, with 42 by knockout, only 3 defeats, and 2 draws. This time, it seemed that the statistics did not favor the Great Iron Mike. However, as a boxer known for surprising us in the ring, the final word was not yet spoken. When the opening bell rang, Tyson wasted no time in coming out of his corner with the aggression that characterized him. In less than 10 seconds of the first round, he had Nielsen against the ropes.
Mike has no let up in him. He's just unloading everything, all body right now.
Trying to defend himself from his powerful punches. It wasn't the first time Tyson had faced a physically larger opponent, and he knew that if he wanted a real chance to win, he had to target the body to wear down his opponent's strength and later unleash his arsenal for the coveted knockout. Nielsen showed that he wouldn't be an easy opponent to beat during the second round, as he stood firm despite Tyson's advances, seizing every opportunity to counterattack. A serious exchange of blows was about to begin when the episode was closed by the sound of the bell, and everyone in the arena eagerly awaited the third round.
Nielsen said if it can last 3 to the head by Tyson. But Nielsen's still standing.
Tyson demonstrated why he was a legend, opening the third episode and leaving Nielsen against the ropes with no other option but to receive the powerful combinations of punches he was throwing. During the assault, Nielsen's body began to turn as red as Iron Mike's gloves. The pressure Tyson was putting on him seemed to be taking effect until, just under 30 seconds to the end of the episode, the unimaginable happened. After attempting, illegally, to put a neck lock on Tyson, the fury of the Great Iron Mike was awakened, and he delivered a powerful combination of punches that made his opponent fall to the canvas.
Punishing body shots by Tyson. The crowd.
Get off his neck, Brian! Get off his neck, Brian, don't do that. Don't do that, Brian.
Oh, quick combination of the head, and down goes Nielsen!
The giant Brian Nielsen nearly left the ring if it weren't for the ropes catching him. And, by the look on his face, it seemed like he was the most surprised by how low he had fallen early in the match. The referee counted, but Nielsen wasn't going to allow Tyson to get away with it that easily in his territory. He got up and seemed to show signs that everything was in order to continue the fight, although his strength had already been damaged. He only had to stand firm for 16 more seconds to survive this third round. But, with 5 seconds left, Tyson delivered a low blow to Nielsen, causing him to flee, holding his enormous body against a corner, demonstrating the physical toll of someone who had run a marathon. It seemed like the end for this Danish warrior. The Great Iron Mike had shattered him in just 3 rounds, leaving him on his knees, clinging to the ropes, like someone begging for mercy from his executioner. His team and the referee assisted him, while everyone asked the same question: can he continue? Out of pure pride or his arrogant nature, he took the 5 minutes granted to him to recover and came out to try to counter the fateful third round he had recently endured. Nielsen tried to minimize Tyson's attacks as much as possible by leaning into his body, buying some time, hoping the referee would create some distance between them. During this 4th round, Tyson unleashed the perfect combinations of punches to earn a couple of points on the judges' scorecards.
From the effects of that knockdown.
There's 5 clear eyes and his legs seem to be under him, but that low blow seemed... Yeah, but right now he's doing it on Nielsen.
Unfortunately for the...
By the 5th round, the ring had become the cage of a beast. The Great Iron Mike was playing with his prey like a predator, inflicting damage with his punches, but keeping his opponent on his feet for the spectacle. At this point, it seemed like Brian Nielsen had no chance of recovering from a severe defeat.
Over the left eye of Nielsen, who's getting hammered.
Big uppercuts by Mike. Double.
During the break, Tyson returned to his corner to sit and wait for his next victim to be treated before continuing the fight. Having barely been touched by his opponent's weak punches, he truly had no injuries or apparent damage that needed to be treated. For his part, Brian Nielsen took the break to reflect and acknowledge that Mike Tyson was an opponent he couldn't defeat. Before taking many more unnecessary punches and to protect his physical integrity, he decided to surrender. While it can be seen as a bittersweet victory for the Great Iron Mike, as he didn't leave Nielsen lying on the canvas, it was a great demonstration of why Mike Tyson was a living legend of boxing. Someone not everyone had the physical condition and sports intelligence to face in the ring. Mike and his team celebrated conquering enemy territory, while everyone wanted a few seconds to interview a fighter who, in his mid-30s, had completed a 5-round fight looking as fresh as someone who had just woken up from a 9-hour sleep. Nielsen was not only known for being an arrogant boxer, but also for making controversial decisions in the ring, as we saw when he took Tyson by the neck in a couple of instances, which could have been considered a foul if he had applied a bit more force. Nothing angered the Great Iron Mike more than injustices and lack of humility. From that moment on, Tyson knew he had to teach a lesson to a boxer who had a record worthy of respect, but an attitude that wouldn't take him far in a sport where humility and sportsmanship have never been negotiable traits. This is where the story ends, but we have many more stories to accompany you throughout your day, bringing you great emotions and tales with happy endings from a sport that can bring out the best and worst in its participants.